Sunday morning, feeling focused. Money acting, swipe left, yeah. That's on mamas, always capping. Swipe left, yeah. No more drama. Boy, you know you blessed. Last night was a mess. God just hit refresh.
I've been messed up, stressed out with no luck. But every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Kick up, 'cause every time I wake up, wake up, another. I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up.
I'm in the new Diablo. Father trust me like I'm Pablo. Sunday service on the front stoop with a cup of tea in the condo. Tony Evans kicking convo, walking me through my storm. And I ain't grew up hearing gospel, but I got it playing this morning. I done been through this a time. I keep going back, but now I'm finally through. I'm like, if I was God, I'd be tired of you. But he be open arms like he desired you. I'm like, wow. Smoking, sipping, slipping, thought I lost my grip and wow. Pulled me back and told me I'm
I
forgiven.
woke up Sunday morning with up on my chest. Had to remind myself that every day I'm blessed. 'Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Kick up, 'cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wow.
Yeah. 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 Seasons change the color so quickly, it's hard to keep up with the leaves. 'Cause everybody leaves. On my birthday, Kobe, Gigi, and 7 souls remind me that the tree of life is so uncertain. And tomorrow has unpredictabilities as colorful as the smiles that took off that day. May that Sunday morning resonate past trophies and trinkets in the ongoing pursuit of more to sober us with the humbling truth. My life and your life is just a vapor. And if what you see is all you see, then you do not see all there is to be seen. Quickly, we leave.
Honey, it's a fake world. Why? It's a fake world. It's a blindfold zone. It's a fake world. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfold zone. It's a fake world. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfold zone. It's a fake world. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfold zone. It's a fake world. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. It's a fake world. Blindfold zone, it's a fake walk. Fake walk, fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfold zone, it's a fake walk. God said go, I'm about to take off. All the favor that's it for me, that's the handicap. He throw the blessings, I just catch it like I'm Randy Moss. I see him say that he'll be fine, but he picked it off. He forgot about what I did, like memory loss. I done slipped, I done failed, I done missed the mark. But I'm feeling like a new man, got a fresh start. Got a fresh start. Like a button, every gym got a press hard. No one said it would be easy, it ain't less hard. But he gave me grace and mercy, that's the best part. Yeah, blindfold zone, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfold zone, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. sight like a rain talk. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rain talk. It's a fake walk, fake walk. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk, fake walk. It's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rain talk. Man, I got my blinders on like a racehorse. God is where I get my strength, that's a great source. Man, I came from the bottom like a baseball. Wanna finally make it to the top, gotta thank the Lord. Yeah, got a new dance, just a fake walk. Sound like I'm from the west, like I'm Nate Dogg. I ain't look up on this, that's the grace bro. And he chucked out my sins like a K-Strong. Yeah, walked off a full-time job for a dream. When I mess on the gas, I don't stop for a thing. Only thing gonna last what I do for the king. So I walk on this path and I follow his lead. Ay, blindfolds on, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. It's a fake walk, fake walk. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk, fake walk, fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rainbow. 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right. Blindfolds on, we ain't walking by sight. This ain't just a 2-step, homie, this a way of life. If you really tryna let it, man, it go something like 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right. Blindfolds on, we ain't walking by sight. This ain't just a 2-step, homie, this a way of life. If you really tryna let it, man, it go something like 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right. Blindfolds on, we ain't walking by sight. This ain't just a 2-step, homie, this a way of life. If you really tryna let it, man, it go something like fake walk, fake walk. Blindfolds on, it's a fake walk, fake walk, fake walk. I ain't walking by sight like a rain talk.
I can only speak for my world, where almost everyone has what they need. Other nations live with sickness, but over here we die from jealousy. 'Cause it makes you chase what's not meant to be chased. 'Cause you've possessed it all alone. It comes to steal and hide what is real. Comparison kills. You spend all night admiring pictures. They make life look perfect as they should. But you don't know the picture story and how long it took to make it good. It makes you consider shoes you don't like, but when that shoe doesn't fit, wear what you will, despite how they feel. Comparison kills. The grass was fine till it looked greener on the other side. Now you're believing that you fell behind, but why try to match what should be one of a kind? You're one of a kind. We all wanna be successful and get mad when God's not in a rush, but waste your time just making copies. You'll see you did not accomplish much. Pressure gets hot, and with heat come mirages. So you think it's cool over there. Your thirst is real, but water can't fill what comparison kills. He feels what you feel, so ask God to heal what comparison kills.
Can I be indulgent like a songwriter? Can I say one more line one more time? Okay, here we go. Pressure gets hot, and with heat come mirages. So you think it's cool over there. Your thirst is real, but water can't feel what comparison kills. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah. Just break my heart, nigga. You know what you signed up for? You sure? Genocide on your own people, my nigga. It's a lie. You're living a lie. Yeah. I feel like an alien in my own lands. And though I'm grateful you saved me, the homies hating me lately. They can't relate, they think it's fake the way you're gracing and shaping my neighborhood's crazy. Just like a baby, I'm trying to cradle it in my own hands. And Lord knows I'm knowing I ain't the savior, but the least that I could do is try to lead them to him. And we are so broken in our behavior, but imagine what we could do if my people knew him. When I never had nothing, the hood was there, but I didn't have nothing, I couldn't care. Then I met the risen Christ who was giving life, so now I'm living life to give him life. What I shouldn't share, betraying the homeboys I wouldn't dare. But if I say I love them, gotta tell them the truth. The fatherless follow us and they get swallowed up by the same game that swallowed us. It's obvious we fell in the youth. You see that Ruger in his hand glistening, that little shooter think you love him if he bust for you. But you were just using him for your ambitions, and he couldn't see nothing because he trusted you. He gave his life for your hype, he's doing life for a stripe. And you won't even write, bro, a kite. You need the little homies living wrong to get it on. That's why you ain't the one that's trying to fight for what's right for real. Hope you listen, I ain't dissing, I'm trying to plead with you. And there ain't rally that's in it and got some influence. The little homies is listening to what you feed. If you said that he did it, ain't no coincidence. The big homies raised us to die for him. On the other hand, it was Christ gave his life for us. They said that love's earned, so we would ride for him. But God love with no return, somebody lied to us. Brotherly love overcomes our destruction. Yeah, that's the acronym for blood, right? Christ's love overcame our destruction. I guess he the only one doing blood right. Community, revolution, and progress. That's the acronym for crib right. Christ unity's the solution to progress. I guess he the only one doing crib right. Yeah, yeah. Somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Come on, somebody lied to us. You see it, somebody lied to us. I swear somebody lied to us. They wouldn't be the ones that would die for us. Christ did it on the cross, somebody lied to us.
I try to talk to the streets, but they don't learn till you can't help them and gotta tell them it's your turn. Jail time is a candle with a slow burn. That's if you blessed with death, it's no return. Hopped off the porch and we came out of broken homes. Never seen a happy family porch till we broken home. Knuckles ain't white from the fights, many broken bones. Heard we was kings, so we settled for a broken throne. I understand, for real I was you. Now I'm trying to tell you what you think is real's not true. Love yelling cause I was real about blue. Now I'm covered in his blood like a real die move. The streets say you real when they crying at your wake. If you walk away to get your life right, then you fake. So I either gotta die, live a life full of hate. To be real in your eyes, realize that it ain't love. We try to make the game full of void, but we can't still avoid that the pain of a voice that remains in the noise in our brain is a voice of Satan, telling us the pain is poison. So when the homie gets smoked by the enemies, and the thoughts of revenge take your energy, just know the same devil that manipulated y'all got them. So who the real enemy? Geppetto got you thinking that you real boy. Pin the okey doke on the low, that's a kill boy. Grip of blood, we just shed a grip of blood. Before you spit a slug at another thug, better chill boy. Cause when you kill him, you kill you. Taking lives hardens hearts that it will do. I'm talking to the fake and the real goons. Somebody lied to us, listen to the real juice.
Yeah, brotherly love overcomes our destruction. Yeah, that's the acronym for blood right. Christ's love overcame our destruction. I guess he the only one doing blood right. Community, revolution, and progress. That's the acronym for crib right. Christ unity's the solution to progress. I guess he the only one doing crib right. Yeah, somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Come on, somebody lied to us. You see it, somebody lied to us. I swear somebody lied to us. They wouldn't be the ones that would die for us. Christ did saying he functionary nigga in the gang amongst them, and he caught up in the gang of funk and caught a case, and the judge made the same assumption, so they hit him with a gang injunction, The homie said he got you, he made blood spill, but he only did it for the blood thrill. Plus he only did it off that drug pill, but he got you feeling like the love's real. Now you feeling like you owe him a body, so you roll and you body somebody and your bodies they climb. But the same one that molded those bodies, he is holding your body, he gon' body your body in time. Yeah, now they celebrating hell cause they feeling like they'll never get to Zion cause they lost faith. Selling they soul for a little bit of fame, they gon' know it ain't no game when they die and they see God's face. Yeah, the world's cold and hell is hot. We stuck up in this melting pot. Instead of helping them, we selling rock. Yeah, living selfish while you tell us stop. I ain't judging, I'm just stating facts. And I pray that we repent cause it's too late the day you come get us. Look how the slum did us, you the only one with us. Regenerate our faith and have grace on my young niggas. Brotherly love overcomes our destruction. Yeah, that's the acronym for blood, right? Christ's love overcame our destruction. I guess he the only one doing blood right. Community, revolution, and progress. That's the acronym for crib right. Christ unity's the solution to progress. I guess he the only one doing crib right. Yeah, somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Somebody lied to us. Come on, somebody lied to us. You see it, somebody lied to us. I swear somebody lied to us. They wouldn't be the ones that would die for us. Christ did it on the cross, somebody lied to us.
And for 1 second, all my problems fade to gray like no one saw them. I get a God's eye view on everything, looking out my window pane. Wheels up, put the seats back. Wheels up, put the seats back. Yo, 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 yo. Some days I can't believe how far we made it. I thank God for the faith and pray for patience. At 20,000 feet, we coming straight up. Wheels up, put the seats back. Wheels up, put the seats back.
I was told a long time ago to let the drama go and go and find a goal. Run for the edge, Geronimo. Sky high, I like dominoes. All that was a lifetime ago. Nowadays, I just gotta make time to go. Take my G's to Belize, now we all overseas, man. Look at what God be on. Lord, got me home, guide me home. When I die, I reside where I belong. When I fly, I delight the flight is long. Give me time to clear my mind and find my zone. Yeah, introverted work, please do not disturb. I just need some time for me. Isolate and meditate and pray and wait and hope somebody pray for me. Paint these pictures, bury my face in scripture. Pray to my soul deliver. Fall on my knees, I know he hear me. I was on cruise control. That's how you lose control. And you're gonna be what you pursue. I had to renew my goals.
And for 1 second, all my problems fade to gray like no one saw them. I get it, God's eye view on everything, looking out my window pane. Wheels up, put the seats back. Wheels up, put the seats back. Yo, 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 yo. Some days I can't believe how far we made it. I thank God for the faith and pray for patience. At 20,000 feet, we coming straight up. Wheels up, put the seats back. Wheels up, put the seats back.
I done been through too much. Scared I'ma lose my touch. Tryna hold what I can't have. Lord God, please loosen up my grasp. I've been broken hearted, mind departed, stopped to start it, lost my hope and lost my way. I let my lust and bring destruction, no discussion with the God who gave me grace. 5:46 in the morning, mind still turning. God had to bring me back. I ain't even really wanna rap no more. Wheels up with the seat back, let's go. Wow, people having dreams about me, they was right. I was losing sight. Then I clicked my heels and they lift the wheels and we above the clouds. No rain tonight, and I finally see him with the clear vision. I believe God is greater than all of this trouble that I see. Left under the sea, I wait to see what swallow me. I'm finally free.
And for 1 second, all my problems fade to gray like
Hello, hello. This work? Oh yeah, here we go. There we go. All right. Got that one going. Hello, hello.
I got my keys. Why you tryna turn me down? Why you tryna block my life? They don't wanna see me shine. I gotta stay lit. 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 Why you tryna burn me out? Why you tryna turn me down? Why you tryna block my life? They don't wanna see me shine. I gotta stay lit. 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 Gotta stay lit, gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. Stay lit, yeah. Gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. Like stay lit. Like stay lit. I gotta stay lit. I gotta stay lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. Like stay lit. Like stay lit. I gotta stay lit. Light of mine, I'ma let it shine. Way too bright, I might hurt your eyes. Yeah, I know you wanna block me cause I'm on my grind. But you can't touch this like it's hammer time. That bag you don't really wonder. Life right got me looking like the sunshine. Christ died on the cross for my sins and the sins that I did in the end it was done. Bounce back to do you like where they come from. They looking at me crazy like I'm on some. They tryna block me, it never will stop me. I hope that you copy, I'm promising this. I gotta stay. Why you tryna turn me down? Why you tryna block my life? They don't wanna see me shine. But I gotta stay lit. 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 Why you tryna burn me out? Why you tryna turn me down? Why you tryna block my life? They don't wanna see me shine.
Yo, gotta stay lit. Hey.
Hey man, this song, have y'all heard of the cat Mike Teasy though? Hey man, I need to get y'all up on some Christian hip hop, man. That man, this is Mike Teasy. That man is kind of dope. He made a remix to Stomp. It's weird. I ain't gonna lie to you, but that mug it knocks though. It knocks though. It's kind of nice though. Hey man, but appreciate y'all for coming out today. I'm gonna turn this music down here in a minute so we can go ahead and get started. We still got some donuts for everybody out there, YouTube, Facebook Live. It's New Revelation. Check it out on the screen, right on the top. You see where you see our logo, the 2111 North Kitley right now today. We're representing Christ all day, every day, trying to just get in the word, get into topics that matter and that are relevant. We're looking to everyone out there that's 50 and younger that has been a part of the church, been connected to the church, maybe disconnected right now. We're inviting you out, 2111 North Kitley. Come on out and worship with us. We're gonna go ahead and get things started here in a minute. Let's go ahead and bounce for me a little bit.
Not serving the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same as we are liberated from our own fears.
Stay lit.
All right, all right. Let's go to God in prayer. Dear Heavenly and gracious Father, you are awesome. We can't deny that there are a lot of things in this world that are outside of our control. But we know walking in step with you puts us with the power and understanding that we know a God that controls everything. All of our uncontrollables, you have control over. So if we just place it in your hand, place it by your feet, and we're moving ourselves out of the way, we put ourselves in a position that we will be able to rely on, lean on, and trust in your will and your way in our lives. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come to talk about this topic that is so big in our culture right now, I pray for your wisdom and understanding so that we can both be able to have the eyes to see inside and see what's going on in the culture, in our communities, to really have an understanding and empathy for it, but then be able to apply your relevant word to these real life situations. In your name we pray and give you all the glory and honor. Amen. Amen. So again, welcome. What's going on? It's New Revelation. Again, out there, YouTube, Facebook Live, every second and fourth Saturday. I keep doing that. Second and fourth Saturday, we are at 2111 North Kitley. We're coming together. We got T-shirts. We have a snack. We rock out to some music. We have some great people in the building, and we're just trying to build. And our focus is not to just do everything as we look at normal traditional churches may do. We come together and we want to worship, we want to learn, but we want the questions. We want to seek the answers and be open and honest, no matter where it may lead us, because it may lead us to frustration. But in the end, we know that God is good, His mercy is everlasting, His truth endures, and we will be able to grow from it. So I appreciate everyone here. Everybody cold in here? Man, do we... Ms. Renee, do we know where the heat? I'm sorry, Facebook. We all had to hear that, but you know what I'm saying? We cold in here, and I don't usually get cold like that, but my gosh. Oh, no, right. I was about to say, hey, it's right here. Okay. Are you? Oh, I didn't know that. It is 70? Oh, yeah, this is just an open space. Oh, man. Oh, it's not on. That's cool. Yeah, that's it. All right. Oh, for real? What you keep your heat on? Why you don't put your heat on? Oh, I feel that. That ain't no lie. My wife hates it. Well, no, my wife has been more okay with it as of late. My kids have been accustomed to just putting stuff on. Yep. My son walks around in a hoodie. That's why he's always in a hoodie. If y'all saw him in the summertime, he'd be in a hoodie. Because, like, in our house, man, shoot, if it get over 65, I'm a baby, man. I ain't going to lie to you. I do not like being hot. I would much rather be cold. But, really? You rock hoodie all the time? No. See, do you, like what I don't be getting, though, is the people who are always hot, but like they rock hoodies in 90-degree weather. Like I be having trouble with that. But I've seen like a lot of our kids nowadays, it's hoodie season all year round. I feel you. I don't even understand it. Like I used to hate it when I used to play ball, and then I'd be all sweating. I'd be like hot. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Right, right. Suffocate and die. That's exactly what it is, especially in basketball. I mean, in basketball, that's just ridiculous. I'd be like, man, like, yo, there's like we literally play ball in t-shirt inside and some shorts, but we got 3 layers on. I'm like, man, you gotta. Well, we had the pants, then we had the breakaways, yeah. Then we had the shoot around shirt, and then we had another shirt on top of it. I'm like, that's just yeah, it was way too much. And then when you had to get up to go in, man, you really taking everything off this crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, like yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, man, you haven't seen, if you watch sports now, man, they got them on all sides. They had regular compression shorts. They got them long. They got one leg down to the calf. They got one leg to the ankle. They got 2 legs to the calf, 2 legs to the ankles. They go in, man. Yeah, right. And college football, they do the same thing, man. That's cool. But thank y'all for being here, man. We're gonna go ahead and lead into this discussion. I'm gonna go ahead and go turn down the music real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get things started. All right. Man, so today, I wanted to start off our discussion before we get into the word we're going to talk about the topic of cancel culture. Now, shameless plug, taking that from Tony real quick. If y'all check out the Is It Just Me podcast. It's on all the platforms you usually get your podcast from. You can check that out. There's more episodes on there. I think y'all were like 7 episodes in right now. 7 episodes in. Hey, y'all gotta get on the train. Y'all gotta get on the train before it gets hot. They're gonna probably start charging in a minute. So I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and jump on the train, get grandfathered in or something. But we started this discussion there. So if you could just go ahead and check that out. But we wanted to go ahead and bring this to a broader audience and broader base and talk about it from a few different angles. So I'm gonna stay here for today and as well as the 4th Saturday as well. So to start off this discussion, I wanted to come from an understanding of what I understand to be cancel culture, because me and my mom had a nice little discussion about this, and it was interesting because it was like, I don't really understand what this is. I don't understand what this is called. I don't understand why we call it this and things of that nature. And she brought up some very good points. So I wanted to be able to bring those to you. But to start off with, I wanted to just give everybody an opportunity, if you wanted to share what their understanding of cancel culture was. So I'm gonna go first. And so my understanding of cancel culture is it's a movement of persons, individuals moving together to express their opinion, their distress, their concern about a situation or a person that then leads to a support for either removal or a removal, a banishment, a consequence on their part of something they deem as objectionable, something that has been deemed that we don't want this in our society, or the person that did this, and so because of that, this is what we're going to do to you to make sure you understand how much we hate whatever it was that was done. So that's just kind of how I look at it. Anybody have a better explanation? Nobody else got a better explanation? I know that was. It was good. Yeah. And I really looked at this, like I said, I had this discussion with my mom, and so she was kind of coming from the standpoint of, she was really focused on the word cancel, that word cancel and what that means. When you all just think about it from that standpoint of thinking of the word cancel, what pictures, what thoughts come through your mind in those when you think of the word cancel?
Like it's gone completely forever.
Right, gone completely. And that was where my mom was at. Like, how can it be cancel culture if they're still here? Like, okay, all right. But I understood where she was coming from, because the thought process that I feel like that I could see where my mom is coming from is if I'm looking at myself individually, just at just an individualistic level, then like you can't like cancel me. You can't destroy me in that sense. But when we look at the culture of canceling, it's not really that simple. It's not really that surface level. And that's where we really need to explore it, especially for us that walk, talk, and express that we operate under that Christian banner. I think it's really, really important to look at it from that perspective as well. Because I don't know about y'all, but I've participated in cancel culture. I've participated in it. You know, the first thing me and my mom talk about is Trump. Yeah, I was on the bandwagon a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it was interesting when we started talking about this conversation, how for me, you know, everybody has, I feel like that one person that really sticks to them. Like for me, it was Trump. That's what, when we were talking about it, that's where it went back to. And it was interesting to me because it got me to looking at the pros and cons of this whole cancel culture when I look at it. So for me, one of the things that I felt like is a big part of the cancel culture and why it's so prevalent is because there has been a history of marginalized people being shown having to endure a lot more accountability than those more privileged. And at the end of the day, that had grown frustrating, irritating, and quite frankly felt just thoroughly unfair and purposed. And the whole cancel culture did give an avenue for those who felt like they could seek justice another way to find that justice. What do y'all think about that? Like, do we trust, like, and so from that standpoint, I'm looking at it from the aspect of, there's a lot of people who don't trust our justice system. They just don't trust it. So, where I wanted to kind of go is I wanted to try to look at this from, you know, and kind of debate some of this thinking that's surrounded by it. So I believe that the cancel culture at its heart is just an avenue for group shame and humiliation. That's at times the way I see it. Again, looking at myself and putting myself in that position, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do. When it came to Trump, it was all about shame and humiliation. It really wasn't about justice a lot. I mean, justice would have been nice, but it was more about that. So I contend that when people operate in that cancel culture, they may present as if justice is what they seek, but it seems to be more about humiliation. Anybody disagree with that?
I agree.
You agree? Why do you agree?
Because I feel like they lost, like, it's less about holding someone accountable or like saying or asking like for them to educate themselves for anything. It's more so like, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong, I'm gonna show everybody else you're wrong, and then I'm leaving at that.
So then if we look at it from that standpoint, but are they wrong? Like, at some point, do you deserve to be humiliated? I mean, I think that's an important question to kind of consider. If we want to be honest, and I look at it from, if any of you had a mom, a crazy mom, then, hey, we staying focused up here. We stay. I'm sorry, we got people looking around for shoes. I apologize, Facebook, YouTube, they looking for shoes. If y'all see one come flying, that's not what the Church of Christ is about. No, but really, like I mean, embarrassment, humiliation was a tactic. It was, and it did work. You saw your mom pop up at the party, right? You saw your mom pop up at the party with the robe on, man. Like, you can say whatever you want, but you ain't getting out of that humiliation. It's stuck. It's stuck. Yeah. I mean, my mom, man. Again, humiliation. My mom, one time, my sister came in late, on that thinking I'm grown stuff. My mom took her key and locked the door. This was like 12 at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, humiliation, you really can't escape. When you have to knock on your own house with neighbors that have known you, that lived there for 11 years. Maybe more. That's really something. So humiliation ends up becoming, again, like I said, I believe that humiliation ends up becoming a driving force, right? Way more than justice. I really do think that we need to look at that. On the flip side, not necessarily on the flip side, but then going back off that, I believe that cancel culture ends up becoming worse at times than the offense. What y'all thoughts about that?
I think it's very true, because they turn into more like, I'll say sheeple.
Explain that, sheeple.
Sheeple, like just people who won't come up with their own opinions or their own reason for canceling that person.
Mhm.
They just kind of go off of what everyone else is saying, and so they start following everyone, just canceling that person, but they can't come up with their own reasons of trying to hold that person accountable for something.
And so, and then that word you use is reason. So that's one of the things I thought about too. So my question with that ends up being is like, as a if we have a society, or let me say it like this, to have reasons, there has to be some absolutes present. There has to be some standards, a baseline. But we don't really operate in a society right now that believes in absolutes. So, you know, how can we scrutinize anyone's reasons if there's no absolutes? Like, doesn't your reason end up being completely as valid as my reason, even if your reason is just because if we're friends and your reason is because since we're friends, I'm gonna be about what you about, that's her reason. So isn't that reason just as valid if there's no real absolutes as far as how we're supposed to handle it?
Because how did it affect you? I understand how it affected your friend, but how did it obviously affect you? How did what that person did obviously affect you? Other than hurting your friend, how did it personally affect you?
But isn't that the whole idea of like that ride or die mentality? It doesn't necessarily have to affect you. It affected your friend.
And that's what
Can it
people,
affect
a lot of
both?
people go off.
Huh?
Can it affect both?
Can it?
Both ways?
I don't know. When I'm looking at the ways in which our society has moved against people, I don't necessarily see a whole lot of like, you know, someone doing something to kids affects a lot of people, especially if you have kids, right? And so I see that point, but then I guess I then end up questioning is that, like, if you don't have any kids, why are you mad?
I guess it just depends on what your standards and your morals are.
Standards and morals. Speak on that.
So, like, even like you know something is wrong, whether you have experienced it or not, you just have that feeling. Some people might have a feeling that that is wrong, and some other people might have different morals and feeling like it's not wrong. So that could be the base of a lot of people's drive for either like canceling someone or not canceling someone. But everyone's gonna have different standards and morals depending on like how they grew up, what they believe, et cetera, et cetera.
So that gets back into our absolute. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, like we come in if we experience we as people experience a lot. We have different ways that we have gone about operating, experiencing. So I agree with you totally on that. So, and that's really why, you know, for me, as we started talking and I started digging, started listening, I listened to re-listened to the podcast. I just really started just asking some of these questions to myself too, because it does go, you do have to look at all those layers. Did somebody have their hand up? I thought I saw a hand.
I do have a question. Is there, when you think about the people who have been canceled, is there anybody that you think is justified at being canceled and why?
So that's a good question. So the question again is that if there's been anybody canceled, do you think there's that cancellation has been justified? So go speak on that, Tony. Why you say that?
Okay, so I have a couple of things. Number one, just because I've been thinking, I think, you know, I think things a lot. I've just been sitting here thinking since the whole humiliation thing. Because humiliation in my mind is more of a personal reaction to something that has happened. I mean, some people can do things with the purpose of humiliation, but ultimately humiliation is what you feel, not necessarily what is done.
That's good. That's good.
And in terms of like somebody that I feel like canceling that I don't really even think they got canceled, I think it's just more of most people don't like him, is Donald Trump personally. Just in recent history, just because I don't know how he has not been widely canceled personally. Out of the things that he said, the things that he's done, the blatant disregard to the people that he has promised to either protect or scratch their back for after scratching his. Yeah, I just don't see, like, from the riots that happened, from green lighting the people to hang Mike Pence to, you know, doing different things like that, to things that he said even prior to being president. Yeah, I don't
And
that's a whole nother can of worms.
It
to
is.
answer
The Capitol
with
was
that.
like the worst thing ever, and I couldn't go to sleep.
right. I was in there watching that too, and I think that is an important thing to bring up, because you're right. It has been amazing. Again, thinking about this in general, how who was it? How it was a bigger move to cancel Kanye for supporting Trump than it was canceling Trump. And those type of things are interesting to me. So like, when I think of, but the question of it being justified is where I do have a trouble. Even though I want Trump to be canceled. Like, it's actually a ready desire. I can't even lie about that. But justified is something different to me. Yeah.
And I think that when I say cancel Trump, I don't really mean in terms of like the cancel culture definition. I just like how we're taken away from it and influence more than anything. Because I think his power and the influence that he has is a detriment to America as a whole, and is causing more harm than I think a lot of people know. And that's more what I'm saying when I think that Trump should be canceled. I just don't think that with what the mindset that he operates with, that I think it's a good thing for all of us.
Do you feel like, or any of you, like, isn't that a staple as well of the cancel culture as well, to decapitate the influence?
Yeah, like I think a lot of people, that's what they want when they try to cancel someone, is taking away their influence to other people, or taking away something that, like if they were like selling something, like getting people to not buy that thing, taking their
Right.
money away from them,
Right.
so that way like they can feel the impact, I guess, of what they've done or said or whatever.
Because at the end of the day, when I think about justification, or people being justified, what ultimately I would feel is that if you are not going to learn from the consequence, then like it just makes it hard to justify what the measures I've taken. And like one of the things I look at that is from just from the school system, that looking at that of how often we institute consequences to hurt, to punish, to make sure you feel the impact of how we feel about what you did. But there's nothing that's going to make you do anything different the next time. There's nothing on that end. So was our actions really justified?
I mean, it just depends on who's doing the canceling more than anything. Because, like, you think about, like, the R. Kellys, and you think about, like, Dave Chappelle and everything going on with that. It's kind of like what you said, it's the people that are in power that are able to have a more effective cancel. Because, like, we, as, I guess, the minority and the less superior, whatever you want to say.
Or
can-
marginalized.
Marginalized, that's a better word. Can cancel someone, but it's not going to have the same impact if the superior, or the non-marginalized crowd
Right.
is canceling. So, and I think that's a lot that goes into it as well. Because I was listening to a podcast that was just talking about how kind of like the LGBT community, and like I always like to say like the white LGBTQ community, because like at the end of the day, like whether you're gay, straight, bi, whatever it is, if you're white or white presenting, nobody knows for the most part what your gender identity is or your sexuality is just by looking at you. No one can cut off black or brown or whatever it is.
Right.
So then there's a whole, anyway. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, I mean, but again, all of it, I think all of it, there's branches that lead to many different places. And I think that's one of the reasons why we really need to ask ourselves these types of questions. Because just like you were saying, the extent that the majority is willing to go at someone like Trump is way different than the majority is willing to go at someone like R. Kelly. There is a distinct difference. with R. Kelly, it was remove him, wipe him from the face of the earth. That was, I felt like, I don't know about any of y'all, but that seems to be what I felt like was trying to happen. And as much as I dislike his choices, his life choices, I do see a problem with having a culture that seems to be more about an eye for an eye. That's what it just feels like. It just feels like that it's an eye for an eye. You violated somebody. Now we are all going to make sure you get the full brunt extent of what we feel your punishment could be for your violation, without any without ever establishing, any absolutes connected to it.
It kind of makes me think, it actually just came in my head, because I find a lot of, and I'm not gonna talk about, one culture that we know is very popular in cancel culture, but our specific marginalized culture, which will join on the bandwagon of cancel culture, and it made me think about the mob. Like when I think about when a black man was reportedly whistling at a white woman, or reportedly did this, there was a flash mob that went and terrorized, that community, and we go against that, right? We look at it in history and we're upset, but yet we're that same damn flash mob that would do that to destroy our own people, because we did it with it was our people. We did it with Bill Cosby. We did it with R. Kelly. I mean, we don't want them to eat. We don't want their families to get money from what they did. I mean, I still hear people say, well, I don't want him to get no money from his sales. So you don't want his family to continue to thrive. And so we become that flash mob that we talk about with the whole cancel culture. Yeah, we're lynching our people.
It ends up being we're trying to cut them all off. And again, that goes back into, one of the thoughts that I had, and I wanted to bring up. When it comes to this cancel culture piece, do we, and looking at these absolutes, do we believe forgiveness comes first before we will allow people to be restored? Like, do we feel like that I have to be willing to forgive you before I will allow you to recover?
Can you explain a little bit more on that question?
So if I look at it individually, if you offend me, I have a choice to forgive you or not, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? So if I have that choice to forgive you or not forgive you, that's totally on me. If I'm going to press you, if I'm going to press you to make sure that you won't hurt me again, and then I'm going to say, if I can press you enough and see that you won't hurt me again, then I'll forgive you. At what point in time do I then become offended? Do I start offending you? Do I start hurting you in my effort to just make sure you're worthy of my forgiveness?
I think it would also be up to that person to see that they are wrong, or see that they offended you, like in that sense.
Because, and I guess where I'm coming from is that in a certain point, and this goes back into like where we started at, it's like, R. Kelly never hurt me. So it seems as though that if I see his behavior and just looking at that one thing and say, I see what you've done, you know what, I'm going to forgive you. Because in forgiveness, what we're doing is there's a release that's there, where there's going to be, especially if we are among the believers, we know that in forgiveness, there's an exchange that happens that grace that we are shown, we're giving to someone else, thus giving them the pathway to be restored. And I believe in this culture right now, if you were to do that, that then people will come at you. Why are you willing to give this forgiveness? We don't want, it comes to the point, it's like, we don't want to see them restored. I did question whether we want to see them restored, or like I just said, we don't want you to eat at all. You've already eaten enough. If you get skinny and die, that's what it is. But you're not eating at all. I don't care. You know, and it's, I just, that's why I brought that up. Like, if individually I can, and that's why I understand your point. You know, everybody forgives at different levels and different points. Not everybody is so willing. But when we do that as a group, isn't that more destructive than it is protection?
I think it also just goes back to like what we always hear about forgiveness. Like forgiveness isn't necessarily for the other person, it's for you. A lot of the times, like it's to, I don't say clear your conscience, but to, you know, make sure that you're not harboring any like ill feelings or malice towards the other person, more for your heart and your spirit than the other person. Like it's up to them, and well, really up to God to have the conviction with that other person to see the wrong in what they're doing to make a change within them, but it's not on us to do that conviction for them. And like it makes me think from with what you were talking about, like relationships a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a friend who, like their spouse or whoever's cheating on them,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, oh, he ain't nothing, like he's this girl, you need to leave him and all of that. And then, you know, she forgives him and stays with him, and you just like, oh no, you stupid.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, it's, you know, different, like you cancel that person and like he gotta go, like he's the worst person in the world, but they're just like, I forgave him, you know, and moving on with it, regardless of how you feel. So.
Right. I mean, that's why I think this topic is so deep, because at the end of the day, going back to what was said, if we had a system where justice, we could see justice happen consistently, I think that would dissolve the need for anyone else to jump in. It's been, I truly believe it's been a frustration. I think a lot of this reaction is just a frustration of how justice has not seemed to work the way it's supposed to. How we've been taught it's supposed to. Maybe it is actually working how it's supposed to, but we've been taught something different. We've been taught this grandiose, idealistic way that justice moves, and you know, maybe that was just gas. You know what I'm saying? So from that point, I wanted to look at in the Bible we see people cancel, right or wrong. We see people cancel, right? Specifically in very, 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 very harshly. One of the particular stories that was interesting to me, in that, because God cancels for real, like, that's something for real, for real. That's not like, oh, you're not gonna eat, that's,
Generations after you ain't gonna eat.
generations after you ain't gonna eat. Right, like, that's cancer. So from my mom's perspective, that's why I'm saying I get where she's coming from, because there's a different level. Like, that's cancer. Like, when you 40 years in walking around the mountain, like, bro, you get cancer. Like, you 40 years in, like, your grandfather and father didn't get to the promised land. Like, that's a cancellation. But looking at it from, I was thinking about the passage in the Bible that talks about Ananias and Sapphira. And so this was when the church was getting started, getting moving. You know, the community, the fellowship of believers was all moving together as one, putting their stuff together, trying to make sure they build for each other so they can impart in each other, eating together, fellowship together. It was all about building from the so we got to the point where, you know, when there were people in need in the community, it's like, that unbelievers was like, yo, we got you. We got you. So, in that story, it was, you know, Ananias and Sapphira, you know, they was on some mischievous stuff. They was trying to try to swindle a little bit. And, you know, who was it? Was it Peter? Peter was like, yeah. Peter was, you know, I think Ananias came first. And, you know, gave what he was given, but he had some stuff tucked away. You know, he had some Cayman Islands money. And he had some stuff tucked away. And, Peter called him out, and the line that I love from that passage is like, you haven't lied to me, you lied to the Holy Spirit. And what's always been interesting to me is how personal we take people's faults. Like, why do we take people's faults so personal? Why do I see a pastor get into embezzlement, and I take that so personal?
I think because people are so rushed into saying, okay, if that pastor embezzled, all pastors are going to embezzle at some point in time or something. So then I feel like maybe you yourself would be like, well, now I'm going to be labeled like they were, because people are so rushed into labeling everyone like that. So as soon as someone falls, they think, okay, then the rest of people like that are going to fall the same way. So now I'm untrusting of who that person is.
That's a very, very good point. So one of the things that when I was at Purdue, my mother was AKA, my father was a cat. You know what I'm saying? So, what? No, but, don't do that. But, it was funny because I used to always, in our little corner, in our little, like, den, always, his campus stuff was always there. I used to pass by every day, see it every day. Not until I got to college that I really connected. He never said anything. He never talked about it. And don't make me talk about that. You say what? Oh, I don't know. No, we're not gonna do that. There's gonna be some canceling happening. No, and so I went to Purdue, and I never had a desire to join the music group at all. But I had already told myself, like, if I'm going to, my dad's a Catholic, I'm going to rock that. I didn't want to do that. Just, in my opinion, he just. But here's the point. So Catholic,
Go ahead, speak on it.
Oh my goodness. It was a situation where I never thought about that before, but I literally did cancel. Because my thought process, when I seen how they move,
That was
I was like,
trigger.
I'm not being associated with them.
That was a trigger.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm triggered.
But that's really where I was at. So that was just a great point you made, because I've never looked at it from that perspective, but I canceled the whole month. Everybody that was there, that whole chapter, because they was just how they moved and how they interacted with people.
Yep.
Like, I didn't want to be connected with that. And so when my dad, who had never done anything in Catholic, until then I get to college, then he wanted to go start going to the daggone national stuff. So then one day he goes, and the Purdue chapter was there, he meets all them, now they come back and they all in my face. Yo, Dad, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh. And you're right. I was not feeling it, because at the end of the day, what I saw is people who moved in a way that I despised, and I had seen them not as children of God, not as works of art, not as masterpieces ready to be uncovered, built on what we idealize that position in that place, where it's misplaced. So then how can we fix it? How can we be justifying pushing anyone to the side? Because at the end of the day, we are basing that on our esteem, which is not absolute. Nothing about us is absolute. We are finite creatures in every sense of the word. So how can we set some absolute standards? It's impossible. So if we are not, like the scripture says, if we are then not in a position where we're building with God, we will scatter. That's what the enemy is doing. So now, in looking at this and just trying to be honest, it's, for somebody right now, this is going to be hard for me. It's going to be hard for me to see the redeemability. Because I frankly, like him to handle, God can handle him like he handled him and I. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the thoughts I'm trying to tell you. Like, and it's so great when you really get to, this topic, and you start really diving into the word and looking at it, because it exposes a lot. And I think a lot of times, as we grow, especially being in adults, as we grow, that exposure is the thing that keeps us from really looking at these topics so honestly. Because there is a part of it that's shining light on you. And that's where the shining light is.
Ooh, you just brought up a good point though. You said with Ananias, it was because he was relying on the Holy Spirit, right?
Mhm.
And it goes back into knowing the heart of a person. So when you think about cancel culture, I've been over trying to reconcile certain stuff in my mind, right? Because I truly don't believe we should be canceling R. Kelly, right? I just don't. Because when you look at the heart of him, he knew that he was trouble, right? So the heart of him was different than the action of him. Now, where I had a problem with reconciling this whole cancel stuff, because I do believe in cancel, like Karens and stuff that be acting crazy on Facebook.
Cancel Karen.
Right, and so,
Cancel Karen.
right, so I've been trying to figure out how to rationalize that in my head. I was like, I can't cancel, not cancel one, and they say I can cancel the other.
Yeah.
But as you was talking about Trump, right, it went back to the heart, like the Holy Spirit. And so if your heart ain't right and you feel like you have that hate, right, you have this disdain, then I can almost understand saying, okay, we need to separate from these people. We can't support those people. If you are full of the demise of somebody, the hate of a person, then no, we should not support that movement.
Exactly.
So there's a difference between a person who may have flaws, right, trauma flaws,
Right.
and they're reacting on it, versus somebody who has a malice heart and their intent is bad, right?
Right.
So so I can see, God can't Ananias.
Yeah.
But on that,
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question would be, when do you know truly what their intent was?
Good point. We don't.
And
We
you're
don't.
right.
Only God does.
Only God knows their heart. That's a part of the vision that we can see well. And that is a very good point, because that's probably a lot of times when I'm professionally, that's where a lot of arguments come from. When we look at, especially when I was doing being a therapist, right? We do have a society that has an understanding that we don't know people's heart. I believe that. We may not verbalize it, but how we know it is that we continually try to assign people's behavior to who they are. Because that is way more comfortable for us. So that's the one thing that is big with me professionally, I always end up in arguments. Because I'm always big on saying, even to the kids I talk to and the people I counsel, you did bad things, you're not bad. We don't want to have a society that operates like that, because we feel like if we do operate that way, then nobody can be held accountable.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, okay, my bad. Okay.
be there again, because I feel like that we as a culture want to be God toward Ananias instead of being Ananias toward Saul. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with the difference being that Ananias toward Saul. So Ananias, on the other hand, you know, Saul came through ready to be, you know, was just hunting down Christians, hunting down believers, taking them out, taking the churches out. And so, you know, he gets blinded on the road to Damascus, he gets pulled into the inn. God speaks to Ananias, says, "Hey, this man right here, you know what he is? I'm about to use him. I need you to take care of him." Ananias was like, "Wait a minute, this dude, this one, kill all them dogs." You know what I mean? Like, but if it's your will, I'll do it. And that is where we would, if we were going to be honest, that's where we don't want to be. There's something about bending toward grace and young. There's something about it, and I see it every day. I fight with teachers that I understand accountability is necessary. I do. But there's something about the thought process of you may be the only person that's going to show the grace today that does something. And I know we don't want people taking offense. I know that we don't want people intentionally hurting. And it does not feel good at the happen. But I just find it interesting how sometimes it seems that no matter what you have done, I'm not able to trust that you can be redeemed, that you can recover, that you can be restored. I only want to see you be punished. Then we're talking about it.
I feel like what a lot of people miss is that with accountability or punishment or whatever, or consequences should come educating. So educating that person on like why that hurt people. Nobody wants to explain why that hurt or why we think there should be a change in what just happened. Most people will just want to take everything from you, say, and then just not tell you, okay, we'll give this stuff back to you if you make these changes, if you understand where the wrong thing happened.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think
Because that takes more energy from people. That takes too much energy from people. People don't want to give that much energy, give that much time, give that much, because you also have to have compassion and patience with hearing that other person out when you're trying to tell them what was wrong. You have to hear them out to hear why they thought it was right, so that way you can try to, again, steer them where they need to go. People don't want to give that time. They just want to, the quickest and less timely thing that they can do is just take what you got and walk away.
You don't want to be wrong. Say that.
Yes.
You don't cancel somebody and you come out finding that you're wrong. How you gonna do it?
Yeah. And they don't have like the facts or what they want to tell you you're wrong, and when they say, but why am I wrong? They're like, I don't remember, or I don't know why. I just heard somebody else tell you you're wrong. And then
Because it's also a place of like privilege for a lot of people that do the canceling to assume that everybody was raised the same way. Your mom's back there dying, by the way. You know. Oh, that's what that was?
Okay.
She's okay.
Oh, I was like, sorry. No, but like I said, I think it just comes from a place of privilege from the people that are doing the canceling to assume that everybody had that same upbringing, education, or whatever it is about what you're canceling. Because I think about sometimes people, just from different places in America personally, like in the South sometimes, or just different rural areas who may or may not have had any encounters with people of different races or different ethnicities or genders, whatever. So then when they get to a larger larger place in life and a larger standing with a bigger audience and people that they influence, and then they say certain things, then people crucify them for for, you know, personally, they may not just know, like, and then they go, oh, well, you know you can't say that, or you know this. Okay, well, back home, we say this like it ain't nothing, and nobody checks me. So, like, yeah, it takes adjustment on both sides, but it's also a place of privilege to think that everybody has that same knowledge and understanding that you do.
And I think that's a good point too, because again, you're right. That's what we don't want to get around. Like something as simple, and that may have seemed trivial, but I always explain for this in this perspective, because you know we have adults in our building that will, you know, will go off on kids for, you know, different things. But like you said, it doesn't have to be in education. For example, you know, we have, you know, a couple young males just going up and, you know, putting their hands in females' hair, you know, pulling their all that stuff, right? So we had one of our female teachers snap on, you know what I'm saying? And then they end up in an argument. I come and I pull them away. And they're like, she didn't have to talk to me like that. I was like, okay, hold on. Listen. What she said, he told me what she said. I was like, let me translate for you. What she meant was that those grubby little hands with the oil will do distinct damage to $100+ dude that had just been done. Thus, you need to refrain from your little oil-filled hands in your female's hair if you're going to. You know what I'm saying? But just like you said, that little extra step where I could have just been like, yeah, you deserve to be stepped on for that. But that little piece of taking that time, because he runs around his house and he has a sister and he does the same thing. Nobody said anything. She's like, I do that to my sister all the time. I'm just like, okay, well, I just need you to understand why you shouldn't do that to your sister. That this is why. But I don't think that people are going to be willing to hear that. And I feel like that we have a society that doesn't trust each other. I don't trust that if you violate someone that you're going to be willing to listen to me. So, because I believe you won't listen to me, let's just go toward the punishment. Let's just get that up close at me. So there's a big, I feel like that, you know, where we can go with that is really looking at the power of the perspective that are coming from that you pointed out. And again, there's a certain way, there's always a certain, not funny, it's not funny, but it's always interesting to me how, you know, we're very much willing to break people when we see it. We just want to break them. And for some reason, we feel like, and I feel like that within the body of Christ, we are definitely like that. We definitively feel like we believe that the broken can be healed, but we definitively believe you need to be broken. Somehow. And this situation didn't break you, but I'm going to break you by letting you know how broken you are. And I feel like that is something we really need to look at. And so I'm going to come back to that in 2 weeks. Hopefully you all will be here and present for that. We're going to talk about how can you keep the broken heart in tension. In this culture, when we cancel people, at the end of the day, we have to accept that there's a brokenness that occurs. And I'm of the firm belief that if you're going to break something and then leave, there's a lot more wrong with you than there are you. So we'll go ahead and tackle that in 2 weeks. Again, today's the 13th of November, on the 27th. It'll be right, you know, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So you'll have Friday, go ahead and get refilled of Thanksgiving food. Saturday, come out and join us you'll be able to check us out again on YouTube live feed from Christian Community. We're connected to Christian Community as well as Living Word. I'm here in Indianapolis. We just thank those 2 churches so much for their support. And woman to woman. What's the title of that? The woman to woman parenting podcast. I haven't got the chance to check that out, but I've checked out all the rest of them, so I'm sure this one's going to be fire as well. So y'all go ahead and check this out. And as always, I'm going to put this up on the Facebook page, but also on our Facebook page it'll be our QR code to connect with Christian community for the support and contribution, and spread the word. Let young adults that you know that we here, that we're about building, we're about talking about the topics that you all want to talk about, but understanding that God has a word for all of it, for anything. And so we want to be able to bring that here. And none of us want to be, we'll walk away down knowing we don't want God to treat us like we treated anyone else. I hope that you all took something from this. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pray out. Dear Heavenly gracious Father, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk and be honest. As you have dealt with me, I hope that you deal with everyone that has heard this message and been a part of this discussion. There is a real need for us to really look at how we treat each other, how we correct each other, how we build each other up. If there are any outside of your fold that need the restoration and healing that is necessary to restore them, we know that only comes from you. And we as a part of the body have to be willing to spread that healing, to shine a light on you in our lives and how we touch others, leading those that may be astray or disconnected back to you. We may pray for God for the night. Amen. God be blessed.
Yeah, I never heard that.